it is said that when the taste of the palm wine changes, the drinking pattern also changes. And the leaders of the party, in the course of the consultation, were unanimous in their view that the political temperature have changed, the taste of the palm wine in this instance have also changed, and there was the need for us to adjust the drinking pattern. And in adjusting that drinking pattern, we needed to take a decision that would further help to cement the development in our state, to build the bond of love that have existed in our state, to further advance the cause of security and the welfare of our people, and to a very large extent ensure that development in Delta, because even politics is local, is not truncated. And in taking that decision, we came to the inevitable conclusion that moving out of the PDP is very, very necessary for us to be able to collaborate with our kith and kin and build that state that every Delta will be proud of. We believe that what is happening at the state of the PDP is akin to that palm wine whose tastes have changed, and there was a need for us to change the drinking pattern. And that is why this decision has been taken unanimously by leaders and stakeholders of the party, and by the grace of God, on Monday next week, we will be able to make a very big statement as to the fact that we are moving into the APC. But I have here with me, perhaps but also when you ask questions, you'll be able to throw more light as to the reason why we have to adjust our drinking pattern of this particular palm wine whose tastes have changed.
The entire PDP structure in Delta State has collapsed to the APC, and this has generated a lot of reactions. Some persons are calling Bola Ahmed Tinubu a genius, as some of the opposition governors are decamping to the APC in order to support his presidential ambition of 2027. Saying some of these opposition leaders supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu has nothing to do with Bola Ahmed Tinubu's ingenuity. It just has everything to do with the frustration some of the opposition are going through in the hands of the federal government. They are not joining APC because they love Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They are not joining APC because they believe that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing the right thing. They are joining APC because of the intimidation coming from the federal government. Now, this is what is happening. Ọkwa, who was the former governor of Delta State for 8 years, is the leader of the PDP in Delta State. He owns a structure in Delta State, and he successfully installed a current governor in Delta State. He was a VP to Atiku Abubakar in the last election. Of course, he was selected after Mr. Peter Obi dumped the PDP to the Labour Party. And in his way of collapsing and crippling the opposition parties in Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been going at every opposition parties in Nigeria. He has fingered the NNPP, and the NNPP is currently having crisis. You saw what he did to the Labour Party with Julius Abure, the chairman of the Labour Party, who was hell-bent on ensuring that the Labour Party was destroyed, until the Supreme Court came to the rescue of the Labour Party and handed over the structure of the Labour Party to Mr. Peter Obi. And you saw what he is doing with the PDP. In fact, PDP ought to be his main target until the Labour Party came into the fold, and it was very difficult for him to fight all of this opposition at the same time. Now, he wanted to take Mr. Peter Obi out of the way, but it's very difficult for him to do that, and he went for Atiku Abubakar. With the Nyeso Wike, he was able to scuttle Atiku Abubakar presidential hope. Of course, Mr. Peter Obi was the one that totally destroyed Atiku Abubakar presidential hope in 2023. Ahead of the 2027 presidential election, Bola Ahmed Tinubu knows that the game that he played in 2023 will not be able to suffix in 2027. Therefore, he's using a different tactics in order to win the 2027 presidential election, and this is going after those he perceives as his opponent. Of course, he couldn't come for Mr. Peter Obi because Mr. Peter Obi is not rolling with the career politicians in Nigeria. Mr. Peter Obi is like a clean slate. So he went for Ọkwa, and the EFC charged Ọkwa for embezzlement of funds of 3 trillion naira. Imagine a governor embezzling 3 trillion naira. Of course, so many persons has come out to claim that that was a ridiculous amount of money, that Ọkwa did not embezzle 3 trillion naira. that it was just a gameplay of the federal government to destroy the opposition party. Ifeanyi Okowa as a VP is going to have a dent on the image of Atiku Abubakar. Imagine everyone that works with you in the 2023 general election leaving you ahead of the 2027 general election to your main opposition. That is a dent to your image, and Atiku Abubakar so far is a loser. So they went after Ifeanyi Okowa, and that case is in court. And as you know, in Nigerian politics, once the federal government starts coming for you for anything corruption, the best thing for you to do is to decamp to the APC, support the federal government, and every form of corruption charges against you will be dropped. They did it to so many politicians that have successfully decamped to the APC. You have the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, who was a former PDP member, a two-term governor under the PDP, a senator under the PDP. He was charged with corruption when President Muhammadu Buhari was in office and the EFC was harassing him. What did he do? He left the PDP and joined the APC. Today, he is now the Senate President. Of course, you have Orji Zokalu, who was being harassed by the EFCC and he was charged for corruption. As a matter of fact, he even went to prison and came out, but then the case was still in court. In order to have that wiped away against him, he joined the APC, and today he is a staunch supporter of the APC. With the harassment coming his way from the federal government, the best bet for him is to join the APC, and that was what Ifeanyi Okowa just did, collapsing all the structure of PDP in Delta State to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ahead of the 2027 presidential election. It has nothing to do with the ingenuity of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It has nothing to do with Bola Ahmed Tinubu being the best president or doing the right thing for Nigerians and in Nigeria. It has everything to do with corruption. It has everything to do with power consolidation. It has everything to do with buying off people. This is what Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing. If you don't want to be bought, corruption charges will be leveled against you. Of course, this is why Mr. Peter Obi is different, because Peter Obi is someone that is with a clean slate. They couldn't find any corruption charges against him. That is the reason why Mr. Peter Obi is working freely all over the country. So many of your politicians that you are supporting cannot work freely in the country because they will be harassed by the security agents on the order from the president. But Mr. Peter Obi is going everywhere as a free man. This should be a lesson to all the politicians in Nigeria. Try as much as possible to keep a clean slate. Having a whole structure of the PDP in Delta State collapsing to the APC shows you how weak the PDP has become. The PDP sign of being weak has been there from time immemorial, ever since the 2015 presidential election was done and dusted. Since they lost and conceded power to the APC, the PDP failed to consolidate themselves as an opposition party in Nigeria. It was Nigerians that were running the opposition party in the PDP. And again, the kind and calibers of people in the PDP that call themselves politicians also aid to the destruction of the PDP. For instance, the presidential candidate of the PDP in the 2019 and the 2023 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar, is someone that has aided the destruction of the party. Atiku Abubakar is not an opposition politician. Atiku Abubakar is not concerned about building a structure. Atiku Abubakar only concerned himself about becoming a president. Atiku Abubakar is consumed by his own personal ambition of becoming the president. We may all hate Nyesom Wike, but Nyesom Wike is a better opposition politician than Atiku Abubakar. It was because of Atiku Abubakar that Nyesom Wike found himself in the APC. It was because of Atiku Abubakar's personal ambition of becoming the president that Nyesom Wike found himself in the APC. If Nyesom Wike was still in PDP, PDP would have become a strong opposition party that would have challenged Bola Ahmed Tinubu even in the 2023 presidential election and in the 2027 presidential election. When Atiku Abubakar left the PDP ahead of the 2015 presidential election and joined the APC, in fact, he helped form the APC. It was Nyesom Wike that stayed back and held the PDP. Nyesom Wike built the PDP. Nyesom Wike pumped so much money in the PDP, and the reason why he was doing all of this was because he believed that a time will come when he will use the PDP as a platform to carry out his presidential ambition, and that time came in 2019. Of course, it was ought to be the turn of the South, but then they became a power play, and Atiku Abubakar tried to insert himself again as a presidential candidate. That got Nyesom Wike angry, and he decided that he was going to work against Atiku Abubakar. That's the reason why he's supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, this is the same party that has Mr. Peter Obi, and you all knew what happened that led to Mr. Peter Obi leaving the PDP to the Labour Party. And most of you criticized the move of Mr. Peter Obi leaving the PDP to the Labour Party. Imagine if Mr. Peter Obi had stayed in the PDP. I remember during the consultation he was doing for the PDP primaries, he told the PDP Board of Trustees that there was no more money for them to share, that the PDP is just one bad leadership away from being destroyed. He warned the PDP that they will not have any party to hold on to again if they don't do the right thing. Of course, PDP still failed to do the right thing, and the official announcement by INEC showed that they came second in the last election. We all know how results were being rigged in their favor. Yes, APC stole the vote of Mr. Peter Obi. PDP equally stole the vote of Mr. Peter Obi. In many PDP states, Peter Obi's votes were stolen and added over to Atiku Abubakar's vote. Atiku Abubakar did not secure that vote that was given to him by INEC. Everything was carefully orchestrated, not just to ensure that Mr. Peter Obi did not win the 2023 presidential election, but to ensure that he was pushed down the pecking order. That was the reason why they said he came third. We all know that Mr. Peter Obi won that election. After the election, we all expected PDP as a party to realize their mistake and ensure that they do the right thing. And what is the realization of their mistake all about? Ensure that everyone that works against the party is driven out of that party. Someone like Nyesom Wike ought not to be a member of the PDP to date, but Nyesom Wike still pulled a shot in the PDP, and the PDP is yet to realize that the fumble of Mr. Peter Obi, they are yet to realize that they made a mistake allowing Mr. Peter Obi to leave the party. PDP is yet to realize that they have lost the goodwill of Nigerians. PDP is yet to realize that getting a chunk of vote in the north does not translate to being accepted by majority of Nigerians. PDP is yet to realize that the mistake they did allowing Mr. Peter Obi to leave the party in 2023, that mistake of not giving Mr. Peter Obi the party ticket in 2023 completely collapsed PDP, completely sent PDP into oblivion. That is the reason why, as we are preparing for the 2027 presidential election, the PDP is still coming out as a credible opposition party. The PDP is talking down on coalition. The PDP is still seeing herself as a credible opposition to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Atiku Abubakar is still fronting himself as the presidential candidate of the PDP or any coalition party or major party. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has Nyesom Wike, one of the major financiers of the PDP, knows that the PDP has been shattered. He knows that the PDP is broken. Of course, so many things has been happening to the PDP before now. Some National Assembly members of the PDP like Decamp decamp from the PDP to the APC, and the PDP did not flinch. The electoral law is clear. When you decamp from one political party to another political party, you automatically lose your seat. PDP as an opposition party could not even fight to ensure that Nwoko lose his seat. The moment he decamped from PDP to the APC, they let it slide. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu declared a state of emergency in a PDP state, removed a PDP elected governor, and the PDP did not even raise an eyebrow. Even on the floor of the National Assembly, they could not even challenge it. They could not even side with their governor. They did absolutely nothing to prevent Similaye Fubara from being removed by the president. All through his orders, PDP did not stand behind Similaye Fubara because most of the PDP party faithfuls are loyal to Nyesom Wike, who is working for the president. I am sure in no due time, Similaye Fubara will soon decamp to the APC in order to get back his position as a governor of Rivers State. As long as Nyesom Wike, a major financier of the PDP, is working for APC under Bola Ahmed Tinubu, PDP as a political party is an appendix of the APC. PDP as a political party is working to ensure that Bola Ahmed Tinubu continue beyond 2027. PDP as an opposition party is dead. After all, they have come out to deny, to claim that they are not going into any coalition with any opposition party. The only credible opposition party that we have in Nigeria now is Labour Party and the Obedient Movement. And thank God for Mr. Peter Obi, for his vision, for his patience to ensure that he remained in Labour Party to fight off Bola Ahmed Tinubu and reclaim the structure of the Labour Party. As it stands now, Labour Party is the only true opposition party in Nigeria. Every other opposition party that wants to form an alliance, we need to come to the Labour Party, we need to come to Mr. P2B and form a coalition. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.